And I'm joined in studio now by Ingrid Safranek. She's the Chief Financial Officer of MMRGlobal Incorporated, MMRS, the stock symbol. Ingrid, good to see you.
Likewise, Don. Nice to see you again.
Well, there's been a lot of activity in the company's stock lately, especially since around Thanksgiving. We've seen something in the neighborhood of like 10 million shares have traded. Why do you think there's such an interest here lately?
You know, Don, if I had a crystal ball, I would be able to tell you. But we're excited to say that in the last 2 weeks, of November, we have increased our volume, and we believe it's mostly because people are becoming more aware of MMR. They're starting to understand that MMR is not just one of those OTC companies that are trying to make it day by day, but we do have great contacts, great management, and great partnerships with big companies. So people are starting to understand a little bit more about the company, and they're getting excited about it, so we hope it continues.
Well, I had the pleasure earlier this week to participate in and be a guest moderator of a conference call chat with some of your shareholders and executives. You, of course, were there, Executive Vice President Rich Lagani, CEO Bob Lorsch. That was an unusual arrangement. Tell us about that.
Well, we were getting a lot of investor calls and emails coming in with questions, and to the benefit of our shareholders, we thought we would hold a town hall type meeting and brought wonderful host moderator in to keep it flowing. Wanted to make sure all the investors got the answers at the same time. We get a lot of repeated questions, so we wanted to pass the information out to everybody. We like to be as transparent as possible, and we want to include all our shareholders and let them know what's going on in the business on a day-to-day basis.
We had a lot of questions come in. What do you think was the most interesting?
I think people were very interested in knowing the status of our partnerships. We have, as I said, partnerships with Kodak, Unis in China, USD Global most recently here in the US, and Chartis. We have a lot of different big agreements and partnerships going on right now that will make the company kind of catapult almost to the next level. So people were very interested to see what the status was on that, and they wanted to understand a little more. So I think people would want to, if they want to learn a little bit more, can go to our www.mmrglobal.com, click on Investor Relations, and then there's a little webcast icon they can click on and listen to the full webcast.
Oh, great. Now, some of the questions had to do with the company's biotech assets. You announced some patent activity with respect to that. I think people probably had questions for you as to how to value those assets. What can you tell us?
I call those assets our diamond in the rough. When we inherited those assets from Favril had spent hundreds of millions of dollars in them, and they had expensed them. So we don't have an item of $100 million or $200 million in our balance sheet to show for them, and it's almost a hidden gem for our stockholders. As we witnessed last year with the Celgene agreement, this type of biotech asset can provide the shareholders or the company revenue of up to $13 million in just one non-exclusive agreement. And if we can do that over and over again, it could be very, very valuable to our stockholders. We have a lot of patents that we've been able to perfect, to resurrect. We were told at the time of the merger that they had no value. And actually, as we learn more and more about those biotech assets, we've come to find out that some of those are actually cousins to very, very good current prescriptions like rituximab that are used for cancer right now, a very successful cancer treatment. It's going off patent in a couple of years, so we can do something with this in that same line. It's an $8 billion market.
Almost out of time, Ingrid, but why is this a good time right now for folks to take a closer look at MMRGlobal?
I think management believes MMRGlobal is undervalued, and we have a big pipeline of good things coming up. So I would say invest. The government has been putting it left, front, and center of everybody, and when the time comes and people become more aware of why medical records are so important, they would want to join in, and we're going to be right there at the forefront.
MMRGlobal, MMRF is their stock symbol. Their website is mymedicalrecords.com if you want to know about the medical record storage. Ingrid, great update. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Don. Thanks for having us.
Take care.